Welcome to Denley Digital. I'm here right now at the dog park in my neighborhood because this episode is going to be about Casey, my new dog. Took her on a little weekend adventure, kind of putting her to the test to see if she could do what I wanted a dog to do, and it went pretty well. But I'll be riding out to my usual playground shortly to discuss that in my usual format. I just unloaded the dirt bike and I'm doing oil change right now, but just later on this afternoon, I'll explain all about this whole process of adopting Casey. I actually adopted Casey from PAWS, which is right over there. It's right next to the post office on Homestead. Kind of wander around, maybe show you some different trails than my usual ones. But so I've been thinking about getting a dog pretty much ever since I moved out here. But my biggest concern was, you know, if I go and do trips with my dirt bike or track days or race weekends, you know, I live out here all by myself, so I can't really get someone to take care of the dog for me. And besides, I don't want to leave the dog at home. I want to be with the dog. I want the dog to come with me. So, you know, I wanted a dog to go on trips with me to racetracks and stuff. But obviously the biggest concern there is some dogs just don't do well with loud noises or motorcycles. You know, if the dog can't help but chase motorcycles, that would be a problem in the paddock of a racetrack for motorcycle racing. But when I first got Casey and brought her home, I mean, at first, when I first met her, you know, she seemed pretty good. Like, I was walking with her in the parking lot and she was sticking with me and stuff, and I was like, wow, this is a really well-behaved dog to walk so well. But then, you know, after a while, you know, I brought her inside and there's some other dogs around there and she was getting a little nervous with, there's people, it was a little crowded and everything. But, you know, I figure that's normal for a dog, especially a rescue dog. So I went ahead with the adoption, and it was like a 2-week trial period, which I think is elapsed by now. But when I first brought her home, that was painful to watch because she was so nervous. You know, anytime I would approach her, she'd be shaking, shivering. And I thought she might like the patio because I have a fenced-in backyard, block fence. You know, plenty of room for her to run around and stuff, so I let her out in the backyard. And she would hide underneath the patio table. That was her safe spot. Oh man, this isn't even a trail. I hate it when I end up at a dead end like this. Then you keep wandering out over there, but it might be a while till you find a trail. And you might find some difficult terrain. Yeah, so she was hiding under the patio table all the time. Is that a trail? And she'd be out there all day if I let her. But, you know, it was cold and it'd get colder at night. So I'd have to bring her inside. She wouldn't come inside willingly. But as soon as you clip that leash on her, it's like she loses all free will. And she'll go wherever you lead her. So I would approach her under the table and I would clip that leash on her even though she was shivering. And then she just walked straight in. Otherwise, I couldn't even lure her with treats or anything. I could get her to the threshold of the door, but I couldn't get her to go through the doorway. It was just too intimidating for her. So I was very nervous to start with, but after a week or two, she started getting more comfortable with me and the house. You know, after a few days, maybe she'd come inside willingly. I take her to the dog park in my neighborhood, which, you know, now I'm glad I moved into an HOA that has dog parks, because there's not really any amenities besides the dog park. Not much going on at the clubhouse, but I feel like now I'm getting my money's worth, because I am using that dog park every day, at least once a day. And it's a great way for Casey to meet other dogs. But I think socialization is her biggest struggle. Because I can tell she just wants to play with all the dogs, but she just doesn't quite know how. So she'll run at them and just kind of try to play tag with them, but most dogs just kind of look at her. Maybe they might get scared. Sometimes they might get standoffish. But she tries, and I think maybe she is learning, because when I was at the dog park earlier today when I was shooting that intro, it seemed like she had a really good interaction with the dog. It's not really long-lived. I'm not sure how much that other dog wanted to play, but I was really proud of the way that Casey approached it, because she didn't start barking at the dog and scaring the dog. She was just being playful, not too assertive or aggressive, and she didn't push the issue. So maybe there is some hope yet for her with socialization. Probably have more hope for her than myself, to be honest. So as she was starting to get comfortable at home, starting to get comfortable with me, it basically got to the point that she doesn't want to leave my side. Doesn't want to leave my sight, I should say. She'll get curious and explore off leash, but she's always looking back to locate me. And if she starts to wander far, I get her attention, and she usually comes back to me. When she doesn't, I think it's just she got too far away and can't hear me well enough for me to get her attention. Maybe I should get a dog whistle or something, because I can't whistle if my life depended on it. This is interesting. Oh, hope Skydio doesn't have a problem. No, these aren't two thin branches, so... Yeah, so she was starting to get there, and I didn't want to waste any time getting her used to traveling. Because from what I understand with dogs, habit is the enemy. It is very easy for dogs to fall into a habit, and then if they break that habit, they lose their mind. So she was getting comfortable at home, comfortable with me, but I didn't want her to get too complacent. Because I was still having trouble getting her to go into the toy hauler, let alone living out of it. Oh yeah, maybe I should go back a little bit to the adoption process. I kind of glossed over the whole dog breed issue. Because before I went over there, I did look on the website and they had a couple puppies I was looking at, and then also Casey. The puppies were gone. They probably go fast. And I kind of wanted a puppy just to make sure, you know, like they weren't defective. They're still young enough to learn. So hopefully if they had issues with noise and racetracks, maybe I could train it out of them. But they didn't have puppies, but they had Casey, and I had a good feeling about her. You know, I like her. I think she's a beautiful dog. But they had her listed as a dalmation. And I looked up dog breed for dalmation, and I was like, yeah, this is the breed for me. Dalmation seems like a good fit for me. You know, of course I could tell she wasn't pure dalmation, but you know, I could have done more research, maybe figured out what the other breed was, but through the whole adoption process, I never heard the word pit bull once, although they did make sure that I don't have any kids or pets at home. So after a couple of days, and I feel like this is gonna work, you know, I start going public with my new pet. I send my mom a photo. She's like, whose pit bull is that? And I'm like, that's not a pit bull, that's a dalmation. I'm like, wait a second, is that part pit bull? And I guess I should have recognized it, but I don't know dog breeds that well. And there's different types of pit bulls. I guess when I was thinking pit bull, I was thinking like a British bulldog or something like that, but you can kind of tell looking at Casey with the big strong neck and muscular body and stuff. But then look at her face, and you can see kind of some faint black spots. Although the brown spots are like, I guess, brown brindle or something it's called. Okay, so sorry to jump around like that, but a little scattered today. So I decided to take her on the trip. And it made sense to take her to the racetrack so I could actually test out and see how she is in the paddock of a race round, just like when I would race in. But I hated going on a trip just to spectate racing without actually racing. So I brought my turf bike with, and I stopped at Parker, Arizona on the way there. That old abandoned mine with the name I keep spacing out on, but it's in Parker, Arizona, outside of Lake Havasu. And those are some awesome trails, except I had some issues when I first arrived towing the trailer because I went on the wrong road. There's a paved road and there's an unpaved road. And I guess all the toy haulers are pitted for parts camped off of the paved road. But I was an idiot and went on the unpaved road and got myself stuck and just grabbed first camp spot I could find, which ended up being where all the locals seem to do target practice. And you know, I could see all the clay discs and all the shotgun shells and everything, so I knew it was a target shooting spot. But I did not realize that there'd be people shooting there all day until after the sun was down. But I just happened to be there after I filmed that video I posted. I was taking her for a little walk when people started target shooting right next to my campsite. but I was watching her carefully, and she is completely unfazed by gunshots. Yeah, I'm gonna turn around because there's power lines up there, and power lines are the drone's arch nemesis. But I'll cover that in my next episode, which will be Skydio lessons learned. But for now, I'll just turn around. Yeah, so she was handling the gunshots just fine, which was great news. Because I figured she could handle gunshots, she could handle race motors. And she seemed pretty content, just chilling in the trailer. My bed is a nice spot for her tucked away in the front of the trailer. It is a nice, comfortable bed, just big enough for the two of us. So I guess not too much to talk about because it was pretty uneventful as far as Casey goes, which is good news. Yeah, I did some more riding. I got totally lost out in Park, Arizona, but eventually made my way back. I should have shot some more video because I had the 360 camera with me, and I was too frustrated and trying to get back to mess with the drone at all. But for the 360 camera, man, it just keeps sliding down. But the 360 camera, it's just a button press or two and it's recording. And then I could have shown you some of the challenging terrain I was dealing with, desperately trying to get back to my campsite. But, so then we went from Parker, Arizona to Desert Center, California to Chuckwalla Valley Raceway. There is some pretty crazy windy conditions on Saturday. Sunday was nice, but I kept her in the trailer most of the day on Saturday. Sunday we would actually watch the grandstands a little bit from the front straight. And what's awesome is at Chuckwalla, they have a dog park there. So you let her off leash, maybe try to socialize with some other dogs. Because there are a lot of dogs there. I even saw a Vizsla. So my only experience with owning dogs is Cookie, the Vizsla I had with Christy. It was really her dog, but it's kind of my dog too, and we were living together for like 3 to 4 years or something. But Cookie was what won me over on dogs, and I decided I didn't want another cat, I would rather get a dog. But I still have my video I made with Cookie at Starved Rock on this channel. Just have to go back a couple years. And then, what was that? A couple weeks ago maybe, I posted a video with Casey at China Ranch State Farm. Not a motovlog episode, but just a random video I posted. Mostly to try out my new cell phone, but I mean, I had that video with Cookie. I felt like I needed to do something with Casey to kind of christen her into the Deadly Digital team. And don't let the snow-capped mountains around here fool you. This is actually some beautiful riding weather right now. I think it's about 57 right now, maybe. My cold weather base layer is just perfect. But we've been getting a little bit of snow lately. There's even a little snow sticking to the ground by my house the other day, but usually it's just up in the mountains. Which is bad for commuters that go into Vegas, because every time it snows over there, they gotta close 160 mountain pass into Vegas. And I'm told there's an alternate route to take 95 the other way around the mountains, but it's like an hour out of your way or something. But you gotta get home, you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, a little battery. Okay, I got you. Sitting there complaining. I know I gotta land. It just stopped over there. Okay, that was a close one. Battery was getting quite low. Must have missed a warning or something. But thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, especially if you want to watch my next episode with Skydio Lessons Learned, where I talk about all of the lessons I've learned flying the Skydio drone the hard way, so you learn from all the mistakes I've made. But until then, thank you for watching.